what we are doing is really working with industry to develop new technology and products. And also when this is applicable to start new companies. And IFP owns a group of company which has a global turnover over €1 billion per year.
The industry has been very much siloed. So you had different disciplines like geologists, the geophysicists, the reservoir engineers, the petrophysicists working in isolation into trying to understand the subsurface. So now we're seeing with the digital age and all the data being digital, that those silos are being sort of broken up, and how do we bring all this data together and improve the understanding of the subsurface? So I think this is the second challenge and area of opportunity that we see.
Yeah, and so Olivier, I know you see similar things certainly on the exploration and the subsurface side, and then maybe even take that to the engineering and the development that Schlumberger is certainly doing.
Maybe first, since we're in the exploration panel,
yeah.
Sorry for the other panelists, but without exploration, you wouldn't exist, yeah? So exploration is at the beginning of everything. So as service companies, we better be sharp at helping our customers be more efficient at doing exploration. Otherwise, the whole industry will suffer. So we've been quite focused on that for a long, long time. And since, so there are two key aspects for me in terms of around innovation in general. One is the digital world, and the other one is that alone we cannot innovate any longer as well as we could have done.
In terms of research, the type of research we are doing is mostly devoted to the physics of the ocean. And we are implementing, for example, the Argo program, which is a world program devoted to the understanding of the ocean dynamics, in which we put floats within the ocean and we measure some physical variable of the ocean all over the ocean that help us to understand the role of the ocean in the climate change. Another type of research activities is dealing with the discovery of deep sea ecosystems. We are mostly concerned in what happened in the deep sea. When we say deep sea, is what happened below 200 meters. And in this area, we have plenty of things to discover related to the ecosystem that are living there.
Instead of try to send people on the bottom, the idea is to try to share the data that we can collect on the bottom for everybody. So that's why we created tools called ROV3D for photogrammetric reconstruction. So the idea is to fix the tools on an ROV or AUV and collect data, reconstruct in 3D the environment or subsea structures, and to allow everybody using virtual reality techniques to access to these data as he can see the environment instead of to be physically front of it.
Without exploration, you can't have production. But being a CFO, I kind of like getting that discovery online, producing not just oil and gas, but producing cash flow. And so that's why I'm particularly pleased to be presenting this panel, which is focused on development.
The way we are differentiating and trying to differentiating ourselves, it's we want to move from a ship owner to a more service company. We have launched what we call our Bourbon in Motion strategic plan. The idea is to be able to keep delivering service, competitive service in this challenging timing by digitalizing. There were a lot of discussion in the previous panel about that and connecting our vessels. Challenge for us is to be profitable in today's industry and today's environment.
And when you have a cycle effect, in your business, that's the trickier part. How to handle that. So we developed two options in the group. The first one, this is to diversify, our business out of the oil and gas business, what we have done, in the commodities and in the building and infrastructures. And the third one is to develop other services beyond, the CapEx projects. So we developed quite significantly the OpEx part through the asset integrity management. That was the action we developed internally.
You have to be pretty sure that the market can stand and load your new investment. And we've done this consistently around the world, either by acquisition or by building new plants. And so we're definitely very supportive of any request for local content. That's for one. The second thing is that I think the whole industry can acknowledge the fact that lead time in general, but also when you want to reduce the cost of development and carrying assets and inventories and things like this, having the shortest supply chain possible is a major point.
On our different offices, we bring some teams from our Paris office, for example, Paris office, to our Lagos office, Luanda office, or anywhere else. And actually, we embed the culture of Doris profoundly, deeply, and this is the case in Lagos, this is the case in Luanda in Brazil, where our office is very strong. We have teams where the spirit, and with local people, where the spirit and culture of Doris is really embedded.
We are rich IRES because one of our former company is Les Ateliers de Construction Gustave Eiffel. So we are the builder of the Eiffel Tower, and we are very proud of that. And if you go to the French Pavilion, you will see the Eiffel Tower on each boot. And this is a symbol. It represents the France, of course, but also the French companies with their innovation, with their they are pioneers, and they are also challenging the complexity like our.
How do we motivate the new generation to actually embrace the opportunities that this business present today and will still present in the next 20, 30 years? So it's not the end of an industry. I think it's a new era, and it's our duty to motivate people and invest on the right priorities. And I think we can do it as an industry.
We're not talking anymore in terms of improving our performances. We're talking about 40% reductions of cost. 40% reduction of cost. It's not going to be achieved by being sat on this chair and thinking about what we have to do. We have really to transform ourselves. To transform ourselves, we have to challenge the way we've been performing things. Technology, in my opinion, is the answer. Cooperation with the drivers, the real drivers of this industry.
I started with people, and I will finish with people. We are very happy in Technip FMC at least to have invested in people at the right time, and we'll continue to do that. The reason is that we realize that the way things will develop and accelerate, a way or another, will do things differently. And even project management may be very, very different in 5 years' time from now. Exigence or requirements, management of requirements, the way we convey all these requirements through digital, the way we network with the supply chain, with the customers, the time constraints that we have, the CapEx constraints we have, all this is changing the paradigm. So we are investing on people.
If we try to imagine is a kind of unmanned platform, I mean, where there is a component of some renewables on there so we can attract people. Then we have drones. Young people love drones. We have smart rooms that we can make it very friendly. So we'll be competing with Google on that terms. And so that way we'll be able to attract people and do it all faster than Girasol. It means in 4 or less than 5 years. And as I said, I mean, making sure that the break even at 50 is reached.
To finance this very strong flow of innovative startups and pipeline, we need to be able to raise money at the very early stage of their development. Some of this, you know, the word is how to cross the Death Valley. It is extraordinarily difficult in certain countries, particularly in France, and this communication is essential, but we have also to solve the problem by ourselves, and we know that many of our members, of course the largest one, are working hard on this subject.